prosperity, peace, and happiness. Good evening and a warm welcome to one and all. On behalf of our World Community Service Center, IT team Aliyar, English Spiritual Session. Let us begin the session with Durya Meditation. I am happy to invite our Sky Professor Dr. Davamani Ma'am from Sharjah to conduct Durya Meditation. Over to you, ma'am. Be blessed by the divine.
Be blessed by the divine. Invocation of God. Becoming active, truth, the primordial state, transforms into the particles which then associate to clash and unite, come together and separate, form the elements, matter in five states, the planets and stars, and all the things that live with sensory perceptions from single to five, as well as man with his ability to know right from wrong. Let happiness through service grow. Invocation of Guru. Your gentle touch between my eyebrows awakened my life forces. Meditation at Turiya removed my imprints, revealed myself to me. Free of my imprints, one with the Absolute, I realize from whence I came. The effects of my ill deeds becoming evident, my senses I overcome. The life force within me and God in the life force all made clear to me. The ways to win people through deeds of virtue now easy for me to see. Kayakalpa, exercises, and Karma Yoga, all taught with the sole aim of emancipation of mankind. Beloved Guru, long live thy fame. Nadi Shuddhi Pranayama. Clearance practice. The atmosphere around us is being purified by the divine power. The divine energy descends upon us. We are being purified and blessed. May the divine power protect us, guide us, and lead us day and night, at all times, at all places, and in all our activities. Salutations to Mother, salutations to Father, salutations to our Guru Vethathiri Maharshi. Meditation Turiya. Start meditation at Agna. Turiya, May peace prevail around us. May peace prevail all over the world. Peace, peace, peace.
Be blessed by the divine. Thank you, ma'am, for conducting Durya Meditation. That was really enchanting. Dear Sky Intellectuals, universal magnetism fills the manifested universe and works in harmony with biomagnetism. The human mind can draw magnetism from the universe and convert it into biomagnetism. To reveal the concept of unraveling mysteries of magnetism, I am very much pleased to invite our beloved Sky Senior Professor, Vision Director, Dr. K. Perumal Sir, to present this evening English spiritual session and enlightening us with his profound knowledge and wisdom. I extend a special welcome to you, sir. Sir is from Dindikkal. He worked as a professor in the physics department at Sri Ramakrishna Mission College, Coimbatore for 33 years. Under his guidance, 10 scholars completed PhD and 25 students completed MPhil. Around 50 papers were published in national and international journals in physics stream. Sir has also been awarded as Best NSS Program Officer at the state level. Sir got introduced to Swamiji in the year 1981 and spent his time with Swamiji actively thereafter. He became the Director of Vision during the year 2004 and currently looks after the development activities, coordination with study centers, and syllabus framing for Vethathiri courses. Sir is in charge of all MPhil and PhD work in Vision Department. He is also the in charge of digital library in Aliyar. Work from home, like workout, the yoga from home, the online vision classes is conducted by him with great efforts. We have such an inimitable personality. Sky Senior Professor Dr. K. Perumal Aliyar from Aliyar here tonight to give a speech on the topic Unraveling Mysteries of Magnetism. Be blessed by the divine. Over to you, sir.
வாழ்க வளமுடன், வாழ்க வளமுடன். Be blessed by the divine. There is some technical difficulty. We are trying to reach Dr. K. Perumal sir, but we could not get him connected. Still the time sir joins, let me just try to fill the gap, and once sir joins, then maybe we can hand it over to him. As some of the professors, you would have heard that, see, this is a very beautiful topic, unraveling mysteries of magnetism. We cannot have anyone other than Dr. K. Perumal sir to explain this. As all of you know, World Community Service Center has formed a committee called KUFA, Committee on Theory of Unified Force and Animation. This was on the lines to make Vethathiri to be received by the scientific community in a proper scientific way, not just spiritual way. As Maharishi used to mention, the gap between the science and philosophy is very thin. very narrow. Once we could able to explain the philosophy to the scientist in a better way, they could able to easily make it, and Vedatrium is the perfect solution for that, nothing else. Once Bertrand Russell was giving a lecture on the cosmology. He was explaining with figures and illustrations the various theories of the birth and evolution of the universe. An old lady in the audience interrupted Russell and remarked, "There is cosmological theory very much simpler than what you have been trying to explain with all these complicated diagrams and equations." On being asked to explain, she went on, "We have read in our epics and scriptures that the whole universe is supported by a number of tortoises piled one upon another." On hearing this, Russell laughed and remarked, "It is primitive and cannot explain all the recent experimental observations." Undaunted by this remark, she asked Russell, "Can you can your theory explain all the experimental observations?" Then Russell realized every theory in a sense primitive and cannot explain all the experimental observation. The lesson to be learned from this is that however recent and fine a theory may be, it cannot be the final one. There is always room for further improvement, and since no theory has ever spoken the last word. It was Newton who first showed that the properties of nature can be described through mathematical formula. The mathematical structure developed by Newton is based on four independent quantities, that is, space, time, matter, and energy. It is significant that even today the description of nature is given only through these four quantities. Newton was so impressed by the events in the functional universe that he was completely lost in its dynamics. His concepts of space, time, matter, and energy gave him a model which described nature, especially at macro level, with amazing accuracy. However, his model failed miserably in the atomic scale. The greatest success of his mathematical model is the discovery of the gravitational force. Newton visualized the gravitational force as a force existing between any two material particles by virtue of their masses. The absence of gravitational repulsive force was a great puzzle to Newton. Since one talks of attractive and repulsive forces in the case of electric charges and magnetic poles, Newton always wondered at the absence of a gravitational repulsive force. Such puzzles and wonders made him realize the limitations of his model. This is clearly seen when he said, "I'm like a child playing on the shore with pebbles and shells while the whole ocean lies before me." In retrospect, one can observe yet another severe restriction on Newton's model. While Newton was concerned with the findings, the causes for the events occurring in the functional universe, his model did not deal with the grand cause for the genesis of the functional universe. Next comes Einstein's model. A careful study of the limitation in Newton's model made Einstein introduce certain significant refinements in the concepts of space, time, matter, and energy. Based on his refined concepts, Einstein built a new model. He had shown that space, time, matter, and energy are no longer independent quantities, but one can be converted into other. The absoluteness of Newton was replaced by relativeness of Einstein. Because of these refinements, Einstein could get a better and broader perspective than Newton. This is clearly seen in his concept of gravitational force, which is drastically different from Newton's concepts. According to Einstein, gravitational force arises not out of the interaction between two masses, but out of the interaction between mass and surrounding space. Thus, Einstein elevated space time from a passive role to a very active role. Einstein developed a set of equations to govern the interaction between the mass and its surrounding space time structure. The equations formed a basis for his general theory of relativity. If Newton's formula F is equal to ma is one major landmark in the history of science, Einstein's concept of the interaction between the mass and the surrounding time-space structure gave him a much wider perspective than Newton. The success of Einstein's field equations prompted him to tackle certain cosmological questions like, does the universe possess a limit? How did this universe come into being? Is there a unified force from which all the presently known forces could be derived? Now our Professor Dr. Perumal sir has joined. We are very happy to hand over to him and continue and listen to this beautiful topic of unraveling mysteries of magnetism. Over to you, Professor sir. Thank you. வாழ்க வளமுடன். Perumal sir. Sir, வாழ்க வளமுடன். Sorry, again, I guess we lost Perumal sir. Okay. Yeah, sir has come again. Perumal sir, are you there? வாழ்க வளமுடன். We could see you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Sorry,
Great. No problem, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. You can continue.
Yeah. So in the meanwhile, I think you are managing. So have you
Yes,
given
sir.
some introduction about that?
No, sir. I was just kind of explaining Newton model and Einstein and how our Kufa was trying to build the model.
Okay.
That's the point, sir. Yes, sir.
Nice. So how long I can take now?
Sir, you please take as much time as you wish. People are very interested to hear you, sir.
However, you will have some
around
time.
Generally 15 minutes. Yes, sir.
15 minutes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Respected Sky professors, dear brothers and sisters, sorry for the delay. Swamiji has given the wonderful scientific techniques based on the magnetism. Generally, the magnetism science, we define the magnetism different ways. They caused by electrons, which we call as electric field. When the electrons in movement, that we call as a magnetic field. Combining this electric and magnetic field, we call as an electromagnetic field. But Swamiji, he defines everything, every energy coming out of any particle. In general, Swamiji calls us the magnetism. Actually, it's a wonderful concept. When you see any object, they're all made up of atoms and the molecules. Atoms, when we go inside, they consist of the neutrons, protons, and the electrons. And how these electrons are radiating energy and the protons are giving energy, how the atom is giving energy. I think there is a secret which the scientists were not in a position to give all the secrets. Still, so many research are going on there, different atom models and different atomic theory, and scientists also, they are trying the level best. But Swamiji, because he has identified the first particle as the dust particle, which is responsible for all the magnetism, and still the science has not come to that level of taking that as a dust particle as the magnetic particle. Surely the science will consider this one day. It may take some 10 years or 15 years, another. But Swamiji has given the basic reason how a particle becomes a magnetic particle, or how the energy is radiated from a particle. Because any particle, that is maybe electron, proton, neutron, and the electron, proton, neutron, in turn we can say, they are nothing but the Akash particles. What we see as the Akash particles, in the aging process, that becomes electron, proton, and the neutron. And these Akash particles, they consist of millions of dust particles. Each dust particle is the smallest one. Nothing can be smaller than the dust particle in the universe. That is where the Swamiji defines. And they spin fastly. fastest one in the universe, we can say that. So the smallest particle, the dust particle, the fastest one, association of millions of dust particles, they cause the Akash particle. So these Akash particles, in turn, they become electron, proton, neutron. So because of the dust particle spinning, waves associated with the dust particle, that we call as the basic magnetism. So in an Akash particle, millions of dust particles will be there. So millions of waves will be coming there. When the millions of waves are coming out, then the resultant wave will be formed. That resultant wave generally we call as the universal magnetism. Each and every Akash particle, they are radiating a wave. Then generally you can call as a universal magnetism. Then these Akash particles later on, they become electron, proton, neutron, they form atoms, molecules, and in a way, the Panchapudas, the first media we call as the Akash medium, second media air, the third media as the fire, then the fourth as the water, the fifth as the solid one. That way, the Nilam, Neer, Niruppu, Kaatru, Agas என்று சொல்லப்படி அந்த 5 வகையான நிலைகள். So the Akash particle, air, fire, and the liquid or the water, then finally the solid or the land. So these particles are formed. How? They are nothing but the atoms and the molecules. Atoms and molecules, nothing but the association of electrons, protons, and neutrons. So these electrons and protons are nothing but the Akash particles. The Akash particles are nothing but the association of dust particles. The dust particles are the magnetic particles. Therefore, all the materials, atoms and the molecules, Panchapudas, they have to be associated with some magnetism. They have to be associated with any particle, any mass, any atom, maybe living or non-living, but they should be associated with the magnetism. Generally, all the magnetism associated with the non-living or inanimate, that we call as a universal magnetism. Then all other magnetism associated with the living beings, starting from the plant kingdom, then the animals, birds, human being. So the energy associated with these living beings, that generally we call as the biomagnetism. And the wonders when we see that, for all the happenings in the world, when we understand how the magnetism is derived, how they are used in different ways, I think the most of the secrets can be revealed. Such a wonderful technique Samaji is given. காந்த நிலை அறியாமல் கடவுள் நிலை அறிவதோ, கருமையம் அறியாமல் அறிவணி அறிவதோ, மாந்தராக வாழ்கின்ற மனிதருக்கு விஞ்ஞானத்தில் தத்துவத்தில் வேறு வழி இல்லையே. So unless you understand the magnetism, and you may not be able to understand anything in the law of nature or the God. So this magnetism is due to the dust particle and the association of the dust particle. All the masses what we see in the universe, they are nothing but the association of the Akash particles in different forms. That is the Panchapudas. So when these Panchapudas, in a holistic proportion, when they combine, then all these magnetism, they're also aligned naturally, then becomes the living being. So the Panchapudas, the land, water, fire, air, and the Akash, they combine. All these magnetism, the pressure, sound, light, taste, and smell, all these magnetism, they align in a way, in a holistic proportion, the holistic circulation. Then that unit, that entity, that you call as the living organism. So it starts from the bacteria, virus, and single cell. Then later on the plant kingdom. Then one by one, finally up to the human kingdom. So they are associated with the magnetism, which we call as the biomagnetism. So in the universe, which will be the greater one? Biomagnetism or the universal magnetism? The universal magnetism. Suppose you say the universal magnetism 99.9, just the 0.1 will be the biomagnetism. Universal magnetism is the maximum one. So the entire universe is filled with so many particles, so many masses. And when you go over another analyze, the entire universe, when you see that how much of the universe is occupied by the matter and how much of the universe is occupied by space. Again, we can say more than the 95% that is occupied by the space. Only the 5% is the visible universe, what we are seeing. Only 5% is the visible universe or the matter, what we are seeing now. So these matter, they are associated with the magnetism, which you call as the universal magnetism. And this universal magnetism that spreads everywhere. The energy coming out from a dust particle, it goes to the infinite distance. That's why a scientist says, you cannot pluck a rose without disturbing a distant star. Yes, even if you pluck a rose, then the vibrations caused by that action that goes and disturbs the distant stars also. Because the entire space is connected with magnetism. Therefore, we cannot do anything without disturbing other things. So whatever the activity we do, and in turn, the entire universe, in a way, it gets related to that. That's why even our thought waves, when somebody thinks at a place, so the thought wave spreads to the entire universe, and the resonance which occurs, whoever is ready to receive, and the thought wave, I think they can use the thought. And if good thoughts are coming out, then, and that will activate so many people, that will induce so many good activities. Similarly, if the unwanted thoughts, so now most people, to spend the time or to curse others, they purposefully, they have some evil thoughts. So these evil thoughts, they not only disturb them, they disturb the entire society also. When the entire society is disturbed by the thought, what happens? Then from the entire society, they will be returning back to the particular person from whom it originated. Therefore, whenever we have a positive thought, it goes to the different places. We get a positive feedback. When we have an evil thought, that evil thought, that will spread to all the places, and finally it will return back, and we have to suffer for it. So the entire universe is connected with the magnetism. Even a single thought that can do a positive or negative activity with the entire universe. Such a wonderful way the magnetism is related. And the people in our earth, we suppose we are nearing about 800 crores of population. So everyone will be having their own the way of thinking. So this earth, which is governed by the field of thoughts, whoever is willing for a particular field, then they will be receiving the thoughts from the different persons, maybe good or maybe bad. That's why if one wants to become good, then all the good thoughts will get concentrated, and he will proceed in that way, and he will become good, and he will do favors to the society. Similarly, if somebody and who is not in a good mood, and always he is cursing others, letting out the evil thoughts, then he will receive that evil thoughts, and he will get more and more spoiled by the universal thoughts which are around him. Therefore, that's why Swamiji has given the analysis of thought as the first stage in introspection. Such a wonderful thing. Because we, the human being, individually, we may be alone, but mentally we are not alone. The individual physical bodies are separate, but the mind is not a separate one. It's a common phenomena which affects all the persons in the universe. Therefore, we should be very cautious. Whenever we send a wave, let it be positive. Let it be helpful to the society. Suppose if we send a negative wave, when we curse somebody else, surely we will be cursed. And all the evil thoughts which are let out by us, it will go and return back, and one day we will be suffering. So therefore, we should always have a positive thought. So this is about our gentle biomagnetism and the thought waves. And when you see that the entire universe, celestial bodies, the stars, the galaxies, and so many asteroids in between them, comets in between them. So everything, they're all radiating in waves. The human beings, we consist of millions of cells here, arranged with the proper polarity. So all these, the magnetism around us, the magnetism coming from the sun, the magnetism coming from the moon, the magnetism coming from the different planets, different stars, the different galaxies, they're always coming and inducing the chemical reactions going on there in our body. You know that any chemical reaction that depends upon the environmental condition, depending upon that activity will be differing. Therefore, depending upon the universal magnetism coming from the different sources, all our cells, their chemical reaction, the activity will be differing there. So understanding that when we go along with the nature, according to along with the law of the nature, and always having only the positive thought, word and deed, then our entire life will be gifted with the prosperity and happiness. But by habit, by the customs, where we get into some evil thoughts, sure suffer for it. Okay, so all these planets, all these stars, all these galaxies are radiating. Our body is accustomed to accept all these radiations, and accordingly, our blood circulation, heat circulation, air circulation, energy circulations, everything will be regulated. And for this basic regulation, we have been habituated by different activities through our hereditary and through our environmental circumstances. So here, by hereditary effect, mostly whatever comes, we have to accept. But the environmental effect, we can make a new climate, new environment in which everything is positive here. So when we analyze the nature, all the radiations coming from the nature are mostly beneficial to the humankind, are mostly beneficial to all the living beings. Only we, the people, we created unwanted fields, and by that we start suffering that also. Analyzing the nature, all the radiations coming from atoms, molecules, planets, stars, and the galaxies, they are always helpful to the living being and the human being. But when we adopt a positive mind, when we create a positive environment, then surely we will be receiving only the positive radiations from the planets and the stars and the galaxies, and accordingly all our systems will be working positively. So therefore, we are not an individual. The body is bound to be an individual one, but the mind is a collective one, and it receives the radiations from different sources, maybe inanimate and maybe animate. So all these radiations coming here, they are absorbed by our different the components of the cells. In turn, they work accordingly. So understanding the secrets, when we maintain our mood, positive mood, then everything, the chemical reactions which are occurring there, because of the radiations coming from outside, they align themselves to be positive. And they see the blood circulation, heat circulation, air circulation, energy circulations, they're all regulated properly. In such a way, we are governed by the universal magnetism. So this biomagnetism, we have the liberty to change. We can have the thought, word, and deed. we can make a change in it because of the knowledge, the wisdom, and the experience and the education what we gain. So understanding the law of the nature, understanding the different radiations coming from the different stars of the different galaxies and the different living beings. So making that useful towards, I think, the life here, that will be a joyful one. And the entire life will be a prosperous one. So without understanding that, if we go against the law of the nature, and if for our magnetism, our thought and word, this biomagnetism, when it contracts with the universal magnetism, comes as the disease in the body. So when our magnetism, biomagnetism, is not in a way, is not streamlined to accept the universal magnetism, then that creates the different diseases. First in the magnetic body, that you call as aura, then later on, that will be carried over to the physical body also. Therefore, the magnetism is a wonderful phenomena, even though the magnetism, the basic reason for the magnetism is the energy in the space. So that energy in the space, that is converted to dust particles. The dust particles, they become the magnetic particles. So these dust particles in association, they become the atoms and the molecules, everything. So whatever you see as the object, whatever you see as the mass, it's nothing but a magnet, small magnet. We generally know that the magnet as a ferromagnetic material, the iron, cobalt, nickel, in that way, the ferromagnetic material in which we say the temporary magnetism, permanent magnetism, that way we are saying that. But all objects, we can say, they possess some magnetic property. Some magnetic property. How they possess magnetic property? Because everything is made up of atoms and the molecules. These atoms and the molecules, in turn, they are made up of the dust particles. The dust particles are nothing but the magnetic particles. Therefore, every mass, even it may be a stone, even it may be a grass, even it may be water, whatever may be the object you see there, they are all nothing but the magnetic unit. And if it comes as a living being, starting from the plant kingdom to the human kingdom, you classify that magnetism as the biomagnetism. Then all other things besides that, we call as the universal magnetism. Therefore, there is always a link and a relationship and an association in between the universal magnetism and the biomagnetism. So we can absorb the universal magnetism and convert that into the biomagnetism. And the biomagnetism, through our senses and through our brain, it can be radiated as the universal magnetism also. So there is always a conversion from one to the universal to bio and bio to universal, which is occurring throughout that. So understanding the magnetism, which is available in the universe and which works out in the living beings and particularly in the human beings, I think there's so many secrets in the life which can be solved, which can be let out to the society, and so many things we can understand, and so many problems can be solved in the human life. So without understanding that, generally we have a peripheral idea about the magnetism. We scientifically measure the intensity and the value of the magnetism, but how much they are related to the human psychology, how much that affects our personal life, and how much that becomes an intelligence, and how much that encourages your consciousness towards the perfection. So actually, it's a wonderful theory, wonderful philosophy. Samaji has given the basic ideas, but once we go deep and deep and deep, we can find everything is nothing but the magnetism. Everything is nothing but the magnetism. So all our secrets, all our talents, all our intelligence, all our experiences are recorded in different ways in the magnetic field. So in a human being, the entire magnetism, entire records, that has been stored in the genetic center. And the same data are stored in different ways in the universal magnetism. Therefore, all the happenings which started from the first vibration started in the universe up to now, billions of years, all these data are there in the universe. Whoever tries for it, and it is not necessary for us to get all the data in the universe. Whatever the data is applicable to us, whatever data in which we can use, which will be beneficial to our life, that much we can get the data and use the data. So here, who is using the universal data more? And we can say the saints, the Mahans, the Maharishis, they use the universal data more in the life. That's why without going to the school, without going to the college, without going to the library, without going to internet, and they get the secrets of the universe and they reveal the secrets to the entire universe. Such a way only the philosophers and particularly the spiritual leaders, wise persons, they are given a lot of things to the society for the comfortable living, for the virtuous way of living. They have given a lot to the society. So this subject, the magnetism associated with the universe and associated with the living beings, it's a wonderful technique, wonderful technique. By going deep into that, I think we can get a lot of secrets and which will be helpful to the society. How we can do that? The only way possible is go to the deep meditation, deep meditation. Generally, we operate in the beta, but when we go to the alpha and theta and the delta, so this alpha, theta, and delta, particularly in the theta wave, we can merge with the entire universe and we can get the secrets of the entire universe. And all the data is available, starting from the atoms and the molecules, and the data is available with the planets, stars, and the galaxies, and the data is available with the different living beings. See, all the living beings are, we can say, it's a storehouse of data accumulated for millions and billions of years. All the genetic centers, they have an accumulation of crores and crores of data. We are not in a position to take and use all these data, but however, I think in future, we can analyze the data from the different species, different living beings, and the different materials also. And the scientists who work on it, I think they can use the data for the benefit of the society. So the genetic center, which consists of all the data, generally we are not even using the 5% of data available in the genetic center. So such a wonderful thing which is available with us. Anyone who goes deeply in the meditation, they can get a part of it. Samaji has given different types of meditations. So mostly, suppose we say, when we go for the Durya Meditation, so we cross all these boundaries. We start from the beta, alpha, theta, delta, everything comes there. So in each and every level, every frequency level, the data which are recorded here, that can be taken out and that can be studied and that can be used for the welfare of the society. I think with that, just a motivation I have given that, but actually we have to discuss this subject in depth for weeks together. Such a wonderful technique, and I hope the audience, I have given a small awareness about that, small motivation about that, the magnetism. Still, a lot of things are there to be discussed. Samaji has given a clue, and anyone who goes deep in the meditation, they will get all the secrets of the universe and the magnetism. I think with that, let me conclude this topic. Thank you very much for all of you. வாழ்க வளமுடன், வாழ்க வளமுடன், வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
Be blessed by the divine. Thank you very much, sir, for enlightening us with your speech. Sir has well explained about the origin of magnetism, secret of magnetism, and how the thoughts merge with the universal magnetism, how it reflects us And by adapting the positive environment, understanding the law of nature, our thoughts, words, and deed will be joyful and prosper. Very well explained, sir. Once again, we thank you very much for your great wisdom and excellent speech, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And also, we thank our Sky Professor, Professor Naresh Babu, sir, keeping us engaged till our senior professor arrivals. Thank you for your, sir. Thank you for you also, sir. Now we move on to the important announcements. Pandemic situation is still not over, and the need of the hour is higher immunity level with people coming out in large numbers, devoid of safety measures. For gaining immunity, we have the ancient practice of Siddhas called Kayakalpa Yoga, which is now available as online course. Visit kayakalpayoga.edu.in to learn this technique from the comfort of your home and stay healthy. Download the Android app and recommend it to your friends and relatives. Visit Kundalini Yoga edu.in to learn all Sky courses in online mode in the language of your ease. They are offered in English, Tamil, and Kannada. Check Anboli app and on Android phones to access or download our Swamiji's precious speeches. Sky Yoga TV is our YouTube channel and Facebook page is also available. Connect with them and subscribe to get notifications about all our programs and listen to all past speeches of our professors on various concepts of Sky Yoga. Join our special meditation sessions for Guinness World Record on 28 March 2021 at 6 p.m. by individually subscribing to Sky Yoga TV YouTube channel. Click the notification button for updates. Donate generously to the World Community Service Center through Anboli app or vethathiri.edu.in, our prime website. Income tax exemption under section 80G are available for all donations. It is time for us to express our gratitude. Let us all come to the Durya state to bless our Professor Dr. Daumani ma'am for blissful meditation. Professor Dr. Daumani ma'am, be blessed by the divine. Her good health, be blessed by the divine. Her loving family, be blessed by the divine. Her divine service, be blessed by the divine. And also, we thank our senior Sky Professor, Dr. K. Perumal sir, for his excellent speech. Our senior Professor, Dr. K. Perumal sir, be blessed by the divine. His good health, be blessed by the divine. His loving family, be blessed by the divine. His divine service, be blessed by the divine. We would like to extend our blessings to the Sky meditators for their kind donations. Your generous donations will help us a lot to serve the society. By the grace of divine, may you and your family enjoy good health, long life, enough wealth, peace, prosperity, and wisdom. Be blessed by the divine. We are happy to bring the following online programs from Aliyar Temple of Consciousness tomorrow. 5:15 a.m. 9 Center Meditation in Tamil by Kanjipuram Zone with WCSC Aliyar IT team. 6 a.m. exercise in Tamil. 7 a.m. 9 Center Meditation in English. 11 a.m. by Aruttandai Vethathiri Maharishi's Ariya Sorpozhivu Edirpaarthal Vendam. Evening 6 p.m. Panjabhuta Navagraha Tavam with our beloved Guru Sri Vethathiri Maharishi in Sky Yoga TV YouTube. Please share the program invites with your friends and relatives to get more people benefited through our practices. We thank our beloved President Arulnidhi Bhatma Shri S.K. Mailanandan sir for his leadership, continuous support and guidance. Looking forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Till then, stay safe and practice our Kundalini Yoga. This is Kasturi Sridhar from Aliyar World Community Service Center IT team. Be blessed by the divine. Let us now conclude the session with world blessings. May the world be blessed with the plenty of rain. The farmers work to produce an abundance of grain. Let practitioners of all prosper, flourish and grow, and culture progress through the need to share and grow. Let the rulers be beyond feelings of anger or fear, illiteracy, poverty, and all evils made to disappear. Let the true lamp of knowledge burn steady and bright. Our sense of duty guides us along paths always right. Be blessed by the divine. Be blessed by the divine. Be blessed by the divine. Good night to all.